So, I'm making this video about something kind of personal to me. Um, growing up, I was a typical happy kid. Um, I was always shy, but all in all, I was happy and I was, just a normal, average child. But something changed. And I don't really know when it changed or why it changed, but it changed. And I became depressed, dealing with depression and anxiety, diagnosed with severe anxiety disorder and depression. Um, and they had thought I was bipolar for a while, and I possibly am. Um, and I think I can't be for sure about this, but I think right around the time that this started getting worse was middle school. Elementary school was okay. I had a few friends. I was happy for the most part. But then when I went to middle school, I started noticing how, like, if people started looking at me, I would be thinking, and they would be talking to each other and looking at me, or if anyone was looking at me, I'd be worried, like, are they saying something bad about me? Why do they not like me? I would always constantly be worried that anyone that was staring at me or looking at me is hating on me, and I was correct. I was bullied. I was sexually harassed. I was stabbed in the back by people I thought were my friends. I was humiliated. And it was spread throughout the school, my sexual orientation. And things started getting worse. So, 7th grade, I dropped out of school. I refused to go back, and I refused to tell anybody the real reason why. I did out of school homeschooling, where people from the school would, tutor me, teach me after school hours, so I wouldn't have to see the kids. I never told any teachers or any adults the real reason why I dropped out of that school and refused to go back. It was really hard experience on me. Before I dropped out, I would go to school occasionally. I would feel horrible. I would feel depressed and sad. I was failing my classes, even though I was always getting good grades before then. I wouldn't talk to people because I was constantly afraid of what they were going to say to me or about me. So, got to the point where I dropped out, like I said. I started having panic attacks. I started sleeping all day, eating too much or eating not enough. I wouldn't change my clothes. I wouldn't leave the house much. And it was bad. Then came the time where I graduated from middle school and I had to go to high school. I was forced into it because I could not be homeschooled for high school. They did not have that option from the school for out of school homeschool, and we couldn't afford to do real homeschooling. So they put me in a special ed program for people with emotional instabilities and problems like I do. Um, you know, the teachers were incredibly nice. There were counselors on staff in the actual little building that we were taught in. We would see them every week, sometimes more than once a week if we were having problems. The whole first year of high school, because of my experiences in middle school, I did not speak to any kids. I rarely spoke to the teachers. I spoke to my counselor, but only because I needed someone to talk to. And it took me a long time to open up to her. I would stay inside the classroom during lunchtime to avoid other kids. I would read and hide out. I would constantly be scared of if the other kids were talking about me, and some of them were. Some of them messed with me just because they knew that I wasn't going to talk, or they're trying to get me to talk, so they're messing with me. I would talk to my counselor, and that made it slightly better, but still, inside, I wasn't happy. Or there were slight times where I was happy, and then all of a sudden, without a warning, it would change. At home, same things happen. At home, I was usually, that was my happy space, but things started changing where, no matter where I was, I'd get quick mood switches. I'd be happy, then I'd be sad, then I'd be angry, then I'd cry. And I didn't really know why that was happening. Second year of high school, I tried to come out of my shell a little bit. I started talking to one person, a guy. Basically, I thought this guy was my friend, but the whole time he was just trying to get into my pants. Of course, I did not let him. Of course, I ended our friendship after a while, but before I figured out what he was trying to do, he was the one person I would be talking to. And then after that happened, and I kind of put him out of my life, I decided, you know what, I'm not just gonna give up on this. I don't want to be alone. So I started talking to other kids. If they would talk to me, I wouldn't just hide out. I'd talk to them back. I made a few friends. People I thought were my friends. But in reality, friends you make in high school, especially friends with emotional disabilities, are two-faced. Some of them, not all of them, mind you. I still have some good friends from those times. But a big handful of them pretend to be your friend. They talk to you, but then they talk behind your back. Or they only contact you when they need something, but when you're contacting them when you're sad or you're alone or something bad happened to you, they don't give a shit. Or they judge you unfairly. So that's a little bit about my experience. So I don't know if any of that attribute to possibly did. Diagnosing me with social anxiety disorder, severe anxiety disorder, slight bipolar, and my life just changed. And there are rare times when I am happy, but it never lasts long, and I'm constantly seeking just happiness, but only feeling it for a short period of time. And I hate that. Even with my meds, it keeps me calmer, but it doesn't make me happy. So I'm just making this video to kind of share my experience, because I know that there are people out there that had some experience like mine and maybe have been affected by it like I did. And if any of you had similar experience, I would love to hear about that and, compare notes. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that for a bit. I never really talked about my experience in middle school before, to the extent of it. So that's my video for today. Searching for happiness. That is just out of reach for more than a short period of time. Anyways, I know some people have had bad reactions to my last videos. Of my opinions, they had different opinions than I did, and that's totally understandable. They're allowed to have their own opinions. But I do not hate anyone for any reason. I have no hate. And that's the end of my video. I'm gonna go now because I'm getting a little emotional. So, love you all.